Welcome back to the Chamber Matters. The success of family-run businesses is due in part to the family's optimism, and as we've been looking at some of the businesses here on our show, we've been finding a lot of passion, a lot of optimism, and a lot of generations where the businesses continue. We're going to now talk to Chris Bird, whose father started a business about 10 years ago, Bird's Fuel. Thanks for joining us today, Chris.
Thank you for having me.
Now talk a little bit about your business, your father's business. He started it about 10 years ago. Was this sort of the first business that he ever had, and how did he get into this business?
This business, what happened was basically he purchased it through another owner in the Collingwood area,
okay.
And then through this expanded to Owen Sound and now down to Orangeville and Georgetown.
Oh wow! So now, did you come on board with this business in the beginning, or is this something? Did you go off and do your own thing? How did you get involved in it?
It was definitely something that both my brother and myself did throughout the summertime.
Okay.
It definitely provided summertime work for us, setting up tanks and seeing customers. However, truth be known, I actually, after university, went over to Japan to teach English.
Wow.
But actually found my way back to the fuel business.
Well, but that's interesting though, going to Japan to teach English. Why did you do that?
You know what, it's after university, of course, you want to go out and try different things, and that's exactly what I did. And then, once again, ended up back home.
Now, talking about your brother and your father, is your father still involved in the business, right?
Very actively.
So how does that work? I mean, these generations, I mean, you have different generations and different ideas, and so how do you make it work?
You know, it's very difficult, you know, working with family. However, at the same time, a lot of fun. My father, of course, runs the fuel side. I work on the fuel side down in the Orangeville area. And my brother most recently we've started up a home heating division.
Oh, yeah.
So okay. He heads up that.
So now when you're sitting around the table at holiday time, do you talk business talk, or do you just let it go? Like, how do you do that transition?
Again, it's definitely, you don't want... When dealing with family business, you don't want it to be the focal part of your life. It is a major part of your life, but yeah, absolutely. It always creeps into the conversation, for sure.
So talk about some of the challenges then. I know we talked a little bit about that, but what about technology challenges? I mean, we're in an age of social media, and I know, I mean, our generation gets it and the generations below us get it completely, but some of the other generations don't. So how do you make that, how do you convince, you know, I guess he's still the boss, how do you convince him that some of these things are warranted and needed in your business? You
know what, he's very open to it. Absolutely. If right now, with technology being the forefront of every business or is getting that way, you have to be involved, and it's started out with the acceptance, and now he's very involved in it, in the process of it.
Talk about the time commitments of family business. Like, you know, this is not a 9-to-5 job. So, you know, how do you balance that? And if you have your own families as well, how do you sort of set those boundaries to say, well, look, you know what, I need to go home at this time because, you know, I have to be involved in this. So how do you make it happen?
It is a tough challenge. It is a tough challenge for everybody in the family, but also we've got a great team at our different offices, and everybody, you know, lends a hand. We're on call 24 hours a day for our customers. So it is a challenge, but once again, we've got a great team that works with us.
And I mean, you're talking about you work in different divisions, so I guess you're not on top of each other all the time, so that helps a little bit too, right?
Definitely, absolutely.
Now, what are some of the successes of working in a family business?
Some of the successes is that, first of all, we're a very close family. Definitely everything is brought to the forefront with our family. Lots of conversation. You're always in communication with our mother and father, and it's really brought us closer together. You know, some family businesses, it is a tough struggle, but like I said, it's really brought us together.
Okay, well, we're gonna continue this conversation, but we're gonna quickly take a look at another family-run business in town where we have mom and dad running it, and we have a son and daughter and a daughter-in-law involved in the business. So let's take a look at that story now.
Archbolds is a diversification of cutting and sewing in fabrics, and heavier fabrics for the most part. We started off in upholstery, recovering upholstered pieces of furniture, and from there we kind of reached out into the other areas. We manufacture convertible tops for boats. We do interiors for boats, offices, homes, whatever. This has been done over a number of years. We moved into the embroidery end of things, which has led us into promotional product. That's something that is our latest venture, is moving into a larger scale on promotional product. We went from working in a small storefront to taking out a facility on Sea Line, and then we finally built our own facility in the town. We are diversified. We have different areas of work. So I might not see my wife for the best part of the day other than at coffee break or lunch. So we're not tripping over one another. She's doing her thing, I'm doing my thing. My son is doing what he does, and my daughter does what she's doing, and daughter-in-law. So I would say that generally speaking, the fact that we're all related really doesn't matter that much. We don't tend to fight over things generally. I think probably we all on the same frame of thought. My wife and I, we do take the business home with us. We do talk about it at home. And we spend most of our waking hours at the business, in this building, not at home. So, and I think probably because we're both aimed at the same direction, there isn't the friction. When I retired, I recognized that I need to do something. I need something to drag me out of bed every morning, and so I wanted something to retire to. So when we started the business, that was the plan. It might have got out of hand a little bit, doing more than what we maybe thought we were going to do, but I guess that's the way that it goes. People say that if business doesn't grow, it will stagnate and die, and I'm not so sure about that. But in this country, with what we do, it's all been moved away, offshore, whoever. It's a difficulty in maintaining what we do, and it's very difficult to grow. Do what you do well, or let somebody else do it if you don't want to do it well. And take every job in as a challenge, and meet the challenge head on. When it comes down to doing the jobs, say what you're going to do and do what you said you were going to do.
In that clip, he talks a little bit about diversifying his business. He started as one thing and then had to change a little bit to stay competitive. Is that something that you have done or have found in your business?
Absolutely. That's why we, in fact, started our own in-house heating and cooling division with installs, sales, and, of course, 24-hour emergency service. We most recently have gotten into the propane delivery for both residential and commercial applications.
Wow. Something I wanted to go back to, we were talking earlier, and you said you had gone to Japan to teach English, and I was kind of thinking in my head, I'm thinking about the culture shock of stepping off a plane in a country where you don't know the language. I mean, talk a little bit about that, because I think it's very interesting that you did that.
It's something that we all want to do. We all want to go out there and have a sense of adventure, and it was fantastic. You got to do it, and when you take the plunge, it seems a little scary at first, but it was a really worthwhile experience.
Now, did you have to learn the language, and like, how do you make food choices? That would be my biggest thing, is how do you know what you're ordering?
A lot of guesswork, and pictures really do come in handy.
And were you there by yourself? Did you have anybody helping you?
I went there with a company,
okay.
But it was definitely, for the first little bit, definitely survival by myself. But you gain friends and acquaintances really, really quickly.
And your family, like your parents, like, were they worried about you going that far away?
I think, at first, but really it's it's a first world country, so no problems whatsoever.
Well, you know what, this is really fascinating, and I think what I found today on the show is really fascinating is all the different types of businesses and the family dynamics and how families continue to carry on, and I think it's great, like in your case, wanting to go back and work with your family, work with your father, work with your brother. I mean, sometimes people just go their own way and do their own things, so I think that family business, that connection is huge here, and Dufferin County, there's many family-run businesses, and as we've seen today, there's many that have been here for a while. So thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of the guests that we've had on our show today to talk about their businesses. I think it's helped to foster some innovation and promote entrepreneurship in our community. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank Rogers TV for allowing the Chamber this opportunity to come on with some of our members and discuss some of their businesses. And don't forget, the Chamber is here to help you prosper and grow your business. Be sure to join us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And until next time, be sure to visit our website at www.gdacc. Until next time, I'm Regina Montgomery, helping you connect to the business community.